Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. I know we are pretty excited to have made it this far into the week. So we have lesson 20 problem set today, and I want to talk about a few things. Most people in Seesaw have been noticing when problem sets have more than one page, but here's me announcing this problem set has more than one page that you have to work on. So here's the front, and that would be the back. And then I've attached grid paper because this problem set is going to ask you to use square tiles to build as many rectangles as possible with a certain perimeter. And I wanted to make sure that we still had unit squares and grids so that we could use them if we felt more comfortable doing it that way. So I am going to go and I'm going to get started with number 1. So it says, use your square unit tiles to build as many rectangles as you can with a perimeter of 12. I'm going to circle the 12. Let's see, my pencil looks a little skinny, so I'm going to make that a little thicker for the rest of it. And now I'm going to teach you a strategy for this worksheet. So we have a perimeter of 12, so that means that we know our perimeter formula is side plus side plus side plus side. So we have to add up 4 numbers in order to get 12. But there's an easier way of doing this because we're using rectangles. And we know with rectangles, 2 of the sides always have to be the same. So here's my first rectangle. And what I'm going to do is divide 12 by 2. Why am I dividing 12 by 2? Because I'm trying to find the length of 2 of the sides. When I know 2 of the sides, I can figure out the other 2 because rectangles have two sets of sides that are always going to be the same. So when I divide 12 by 2, I get 6. That means 2 of my sides will add up to 6. So I'm going to do the easiest one I can first, and I'm going to do 1 and 5 and 1 and 5. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to check my work. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, plus 1, yes, we've got it, perimeter of 12. So now we're going to go and we're going to take a look at another rectangle. I'm going to offset them a little so they're not super close together. So I'm looking for sides that make 6. When I think of things that add up to 6, the first thing I think of are my doubles. Remember, like way back when in first grade when you learned all your doubles? It's going to be 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. So let's count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12. All right, we've got 2. Let's see if we can make a third one. Oh, that's awful too. I'm going to redo that. Okay, I can think of one more set of numbers immediately off the top of my head that add up to be 6. And that's going to be 2 and 4. So 2 and 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 more is 8. And then 8 plus 4, there we go. So we have 3 rectangles with a perimeter of 12. So when we have an even number for a perimeter, what we always want to do is divide that number by 2. So that we have 2 sides labeled. Now for this bottom part where it says explain your strategy for finding rectangles with a perimeter of 12 units. Please make sure that when you're on Seesaw you're using the text feature and not trying to free write this because that's going to be very difficult. Click the little box with the T. So I divided 12 by 2. I got 6. Then I looked for numbers that add up to 6. Then I labeled my sides. Oops, it's cutting off. Let me see if it can come down. And checked my work. You should not write what I wrote word for word here. This should be you explaining it to me. So here I've broken down what I did. I divided 12 by 2 because I was looking for 2 sides. 12 divided by 2 is 6. I looked for numbers that added up to 6, labeled my sides, and I checked my work. Just like in class, try and use your own words, please. Now, when we talk about finding, let me scroll my page just a little bit. Oh no, let me not. When we talk about finding the areas of the rectangles in part A, remember, area is length times width. You need to multiply. So it's multiplying one side by another side. All of these numbers are pretty easy, and I don't think that I am going to tell you what those areas are. I'm going to be looking on Seesaw and seeing who has filled out C. So you can call them rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3, or you can just list the areas. Please make sure you're showing the formula so I see how you got your answers. That's totally fine. Don't worry about whether or not I know which one goes with which rectangle. I'll check the numbers because obviously a 1 by 5 rectangle is not going to have the same area as a 2 by 4 rectangle. Let's talk about D for a moment. The perimeter of all of those rectangles was the same. They were all 12, but something was going on with the areas. Please use the text feature in Seesaw to tell me what you noticed about the areas. It should just be a sentence. Just like always, I'm looking for a complete sentence. I am not looking for just a couple of words. It should start with a capital letter and it should end with a period. If you're having trouble with D, make sure that you come on our live meeting around 10:30 and then we can talk about this, okay? All right, I'm going to start you off on number 2, and then you will fill in parts B and C on your own. So I will start you off, I will label some rectangles, and then you are going to go for the rest of it. I'm going to make 3 rectangles because I can always erase one if I need to. All right, I'm looking at 14 units. 14 is an even number, so I'm going to divide it by 2 so that I have 2 of my sides found. Because all the sides are 14, so 4 things adding up to 14. Whoops, I just put divided by and then the equal sign. What happened to me? There we go. 14 divided by 2 equals 7. So I'm looking for sides that add up to 7. Again, we want to go for the easy side, and we want to do 1 and 6, and 1 and 6. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 1 more is 8, plus 6 more, that's going to be 14. Okay. Now I'm trying to think of other numbers that add up to 7, and I thought of 3 and 4. So this is 3, and this is 4. So let's see, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 and 3 more is 14. All right, so we've got 2. Let's see if we can make that third one. Let's see, other numbers that add up to 7. Ooh, let's go ahead and let's do 2 and 5. All right, 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. And 12 plus 2 is 14. You have the grid paper attached. So if the way that I'm doing this is not making sense right now, go ahead and use that grid paper. I wanted you to have that as a resource just in case it was necessary. So I've gone and I've set up your rectangles, and I need you to take care of parts B and C. A few housekeeping things. Please make sure that you are logging into Science using the student software page and scrolling down until you see HMH Florida Science. When you first log in on that screen where it shows you all the units, it's going to have assignments at the top. The quizzes always go with the reading. You should be doing one lesson a day and then doing the quiz that goes with it. If you're a little behind on your science, please go ahead and get started. I am going to be messaging parents today and letting people know, hey, we've got a few things to turn in. When I take attendance, please make sure you hit reply and not start new conversation. All right, guys, I'll see you at 10:30.